Hi everybody and welcome back. This is Cynthia Kane. This is the last of our 3 tutorials that will help you become a more effective searcher, not only for your assignment for this class for your literature review, but also for any type of paper or research project you need to do for any of your graduate research classes. You'll notice that I'm back once more in the Google Chrome browser, and I'm going to take my screen back, as I've done before, to library.emporia.edu. And as we have done previously, we're going to go to databases. Now, if I know the name of a specific database, such as PsycInfo, I actually could go directly to it from here. And I can also, as we know, scroll down to my subject areas that I'm interested in and go to psychology. And let's go to the PsycInfo database from here. And as we've done previously, we'll go to advanced search. What I want to do now is show you a different way of refining your search so that you can really narrow it down and get it a lot more focused, particularly when you have a large amount of information that you're dealing with. As always, I'm going to limit to peer-reviewed journals. And I'm going to do abstract. So I'm searching in the abstracts of my items for my keywords. And I'm going to repeat part of my search that I've done previously, which was the smoking cessation and counseling. But on the third line, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm really interested in finding counseling theories or counseling techniques that will deal with quitting smoking or smoking cessation. Now you notice how this third line is working. There's a very important word here that says or. This is one that you may or may not have worked with. Or is actually a signal to a database that you want a word or another word in your search for information. And once you know how the word or works, it becomes a very powerful tool. Now, it's a little bit difficult to see sometimes on this screen, but you actually are going to see some parentheses here. If you don't have that in a database, when you're using the word or, add the parentheses around the words that you want to combine with the word or. This actually goes back to a basic principle of algebra. Now, I can tell you, I was horrible in algebra, but the only thing I do remember is that when you're dealing with a number formula or a number problem, anything that's in parentheses is solved first, and then it's combined with whatever is outside the parentheses. This is the very same logic that works with the word or. So, having set up this search, I'm not going to limit by dates this time because I've already put in some more limits with the words that I put in with the word or. So we're just going to go ahead and click on search. And you see that I actually then wound up with 65 results, which are pretty manageable. I like those. Something else I wanted to show you. Let's look at record number 2. Now you notice here that I could link to the full text of an article, but I also have my journal linker button that I could click on. In PsycInfo, sometimes this link to full text works really well, and other times it causes a few problems. So let's say that I'm interested in this one, Smoking in Pregnant Women, and it's from the Journal of Alcohol and Drug Education. Let's go ahead and click directly on Journal Linker. And the reason I wanted to show you that journal linker button is that this actually linked directly to the article in another database. The database that it linked to is actually called Sport Discus with full text. Not really anything that you need to know, but it's important to realize that the PDF full text of this article was in this database. So you see, it was very easy for me just to click on that journal linker and then be able to either link to the full text of the article, or if it wasn't there, it would tell me that it would not be available. So you might remember from some previous tutorials that I've talked about interlibrary loan, but I want to highlight a little bit more about interlibrary loan, particularly if you happen to be a distance education student and you're not living here physically in Emporia or near Emporia. So let's take this back to the library's webpage. There is a link on the side of this page that says Request an Interlibrary Loan. You log in with your Buzzin username and password. And you might remember that when I was in the PsycInfo database and I was wanting to log in for an interlibrary loan of an article, the PsycInfo database actually linked directly to our interlibrary loan system, so I didn't have to put in a lot of information. The information about the article was already there. That doesn't always happen with every single database. When it doesn't, you can go to the library's webpage, click on Interlibrary Loan just as I did. I mentioned in our previous tutorial that if you have not set up Interlibrary Loan before through William Allen White Library, you are going to get a screen before this one that would actually say that you need to set up your personal information. I've done interlibrary loans, so it just took me directly to here. So if I wanted to do an interlibrary loan for an article or for a book, and it wasn't linking directly from the database as it did with PsycInfo, I could just click on New Request for Article, or book chapter, and then I could either type in the information or I could copy and paste that information. Now, I wanted to point out something else to you as well. You are taking this class online, but at the same time, many of you may be distance education students, so you're not actually taking classes physically here at the Emporia State University campus. I want to bring your attention to a research guide that I have written specifically for psychology, art therapy, counseling, and so forth. And the address is at the top of the screen, libguides.emporia.edu/psychology. A lot of what we've done today and then also in our previous tutorials is actually also included in this guide. So you can always go back to that, and again, always contact me if you have any questions. There are two things I want to highlight on this guide in particular. So I'm going to go to ILL Document Delivery. If you reside more than 30 miles from the Emporia campus and you are not on campus once a week, you are considered to be a distance education student in the eyes of the library. That means that you can use that interlibrary loan link if you find a book in our catalog that you would like to have checked out to you and mailed to you. Then we would actually just request that you mail the book back at your expense, but you can still check out materials from here. And you can also use this if you ever found that a journal article was available in print here in our library, and that still does happen from time to time, especially with older journals. In that case, use the interlibrary loan link, put in the information about the article, make a note that it's owned by our library in print form, and we will scan a copy of that article in PDF and we will send that to you. Again, this is just if you are a distance education student. If you are here in Emporia or you live less than 30 miles from the Emporia campus, we still would want you to come into the library to basically check out your materials, but we're happy to help you with that. The last thing I wanted to show you on this guide is this tab for documenting sources. This actually will take you to another guide that I have written that deals with the basics of APA citation style. So essentially, I've tried to capture on here the basic aspects of citing periodicals, book chapters, dissertations and theses, test reviews from the Mental Measurements Yearbook, which you actually have as a database, and so forth. The other thing I wanted to show you is this tab that's called Zotero. This is not anything that's required for you to do. However, Zotero is a free bibliographic software program. It's available for Firefox, but you can also use it with Google Chrome and with Safari. And it allows you to organize and download your citations really effectively to basically organize them in collections and folders and then create bibliographies. I have recorded additional video tutorials on how to use Zotero, how to download it, and then how to utilize it in your research. If this is anything you're ever interested in doing, I would encourage you to watch these videos, but then again, always contact me if you have any questions. And we'll go back here to PsycInfo. I hope that these 3 tutorials will get you a really good start on writing an excellent literature review. Again, I just can't emphasize enough. Please contact me if you have any questions at all. You know that my email address is ckane1@emporia.edu. You can also reach me at 620-341-5480. Good luck with your research, and thanks for listening.